Good morning, everybody. Thought I'd share with you two fun designs for cards that are not difficult, but they just give the card an extra little something. So the first one, I've already cut this out, but you can imagine that you just take your card base and then you cut a piece of designer series paper that's, leaving the border around the edge. So the paper would be 4 by 5 1/4. Okay, so then I just took my circle. I love these stitched shapes. So we've got the squares, the ovals, and the circles. And I took the circle and just punched out a piece of 2 corners. Then if you'll take that and turn it over like that, see, that gives you a really interesting little design on the card. And then I would put this up. I've already got some dots on there. So let me go ahead and adhere this so that we will have it on there. And then, of course, I'm trying to also make sure that I always put something on the inside when I make the card so that I don't have to try to go back and do it when I'm ready to send the card. Because sometimes I send cards, with a special person in mind. And sometimes, I just make birthday cards or thank you cards or sympathy cards or something I know I'm going to need. And then I wait and pick out the right one to send to somebody when that particular event happens. So I don't know if I'm getting that on there straight or not, but you'll get the idea. There we go. So then that's on there. And then again, I just cut out 2 circles, one for the happy birthday and one for the mat. And I just picked another color out of here, the lighter green. And I would just pop that up in the middle. And you see how just super simple that is. Now you could also, use 2 different pieces of designer series paper and then flip them so that you could, use this piece on another card and use the circles from that one on this one. But I just thought this was easy to do the same way. I'll have to get that down. All right, so then on the inside, you open it and it's like, oh my goodness. I cut out, if you remember, we've got this happy birthday that we had, I don't know how many years ago it's been now. And I should have punched out all my little pieces. I like to put that on the inside. And think about punching out all these little pieces, but they come out pretty quickly. Should be using my take your pick tool because I like that one better, but I didn't get it ready this time. Okay, so for this one, the pop out folds one way and the card folds back the other. So I've also added some tape to the card. Again, ahead of time, trying to save a little bit of time. You can put anything you want on the inside. We've talked a couple times about how to add some pop-ups to the inside of your card to give it a little, oops, I'm doing the wrong side, to give it a little bit of fun when they open the card. Okay, so remember, we always put one side down and then take the, don't try to just lay the whole thing out and put it down because then sometimes it just doesn't fold right. So I always put the one side down. And then fold the card over. Okay. So now you've got a nice happy birthday there. You've got a little pop-up there. So, and again, you can put whatever you want on the inside, but just using these circles to cut out the corners, I thought was a really interesting idea. Now, I wondered if we could do the same thing with a punch. So I wanted to try this. So again, I had this one. I was going to make this a sympathy card because unfortunately, of course, we also need those sometimes. And I have a piece of designer series paper here. This is an older one, and I have just the plain card base. I did put a sympathy verse on the inside, and this would just fit on here. And I'm going to just take this punch and punch. I'm not going to punch the whole thing, but I'm going to punch maybe to about there. And then see, we'll turn that over. Whoops, I don't want to tear it. And then I'm going to do the same thing from the top, because I like 2 of them on there. You could just do 1, it doesn't matter. I liked the idea of 2, so let's try this. All right, so then I'm going to add this to my card front. You know, sometimes you just need a little bit of an idea to get you started, and then you can go from there. Definitely, you know, use your own papers, your own colors, whatever you have is fine. And I would just add this back. Looks kind of funky like this, doesn't it? Got some glue on the outside there. And then I will take my, see, I'm going to take these and just pop them right into that little piece. And that into that little piece. And just, I don't know, it just makes it a little more interesting, I think, than just having the plain piece of paper on the front. And you could, again, do this with any size that you want. It doesn't have to be the circle like I did that last time. Use whatever punch you have, whatever dies that you have. Of course, I'll never object if you want to buy new ones, but it's nice to be able to take what we have and just use it in a different way. Okay, so then I thought I would put the sympathy on here in the middle. Okay, so this one, I don't have a mat for this. See, these are the same size. So if you remember with these, if you can always, where's my scissors? There's some. You can take this and cut it in half. Or you can cut it in half long ways or this way. And then just add it to the edges. And you've given yourself a nice little mat, even though you only had one size for this punch. Okay, and then I'm going to pop that up there. Because the dimensionals, again, just give it a little bit of an extra something. You could put 2 or 3 or 4, whatever you like. Some people like to put more adhesive, some people like to put less. Okay, like that. And then just to go one step further, again, I've already put a nice verse in here, but I thought it would be fun to use the blending brush that I had right here ready. Am I looking right at it? Oh, there it is. And take one of our stencils that we've had. I'm just going to put that on here, and I'm just taking a yellow. This one happens to be Pineapple Punch. And I'm just going to give this a little bit. Now you can put a Post-it note or something on this if you want to make sure it doesn't move. But I don't want to do the whole stencil. I just wanted to do a little bit. And see how that just adds just a little bit of something to the inside. And then you can sign it. Now you could do as much or as little. You can do the whole thing. But just adding a tone on tone, I think it just makes it, just gives it a little bit of interest. Okay, so that's how you can take a piece of Designer Series paper and punch out some, flip it over, and give your card a little bit of interest on the front. All right, so now let's look at another card that I found. And this one, the base of the card is long ways, 11 by 4 1/4. So if you just folded this in half, that makes your regular 5 1/2 by 4 1/4 card. But instead, I wanted to fold it in from both sides and make a gate fold. And again, we've done these before. So the card's going to still end up to be the right size for the envelope. Okay, this is just a gate fold card, they will call it. Okay, because it opens from the inside. So this is the 5 1/2, 4 1/4. So I've come in at 2 and set 2 3/4 from both sides, which if you're just doing it long way is at 2 3/4, and then over here at 8 1/4. Okay, and then the designer series paper, I cut for the front, will be, it's 4, or it's 5 1/4 by 4, and then I just cut that in half. So let me add that to the front, and this is again from that Textures, which has got it's got wood, it's got tile, it's got fabric, it's got all kinds of really cool textures in it. This way it does. Whoop, no, I think I better leave it up here so that way I can make sure I'm matching the. Okay, so now we have this on the front. So what happens if we want to put this on the front, but have it open right like that? Okay, so I would take, actually I might take this one first. And I want to put on, I like my tear and tape because it's very strong. And I'm going to put this on here first. Now notice I'm only putting the tape on the one side because I don't want there to be tape over here where it's going to, keep the card closed or something. So I will add this, whoops, to the front. And I want it to be in the middle. So I'm going to add it just about there. Okay, but then I want the other side to match. So this one I'm going to put down like that. All right, so that when you open the card, see, you've got, it's like a little lock and key, I guess. All right, so I'm going to try. Liquid glue would absolutely be best for this, but then you've got to let it go dry. But I think I'm going to do that just because the tear and tape's a little wide. So as long as I hold it for a minute, and you don't want to get a lot of glue so that it's going to, get out on everything else, because then it'll be holding something closed that shouldn't be. So I'm going to put this right on here, like that, and I'm just going to hold it for a minute. Now, actually, I think I'm going to put a block on top of that. On the inside of this one, I thought I would put a gift card holder, because since it says a little something for you. So I just cut a piece that's 5 1/4 by 2 inches, all right? And then I'm going to take my punch. I'm going to use this punch again since it's out. And I'm going to put my glasses on, make sure I get it. I'm going to punch this so that, see the edge there? I want to come in from the edge. So you can see, I'm coming in about that far. And I'm just going to line this up like that and punch it out. And then I'll do the same thing on the other side, leaving about the same amount, just punching down to that point on the punch. Again, I'm left with a little piece, and I'll punch that out. And now, see, I've got a little gift card holder I can put on the inside. I think that people still give gift cards, although a lot of people I know give e-cards now. But you can go in any, you go in Publix or CVS or wherever, and they've got all those big gift card kiosks there. So I think people do still get them. I do. Of course, I'm a little behind the times, so I always prefer something tangible rather than an email. That's why I like sending cards. People, it's nice to wish them happy birthday on Facebook or whatever. That's a nice thing to do. But I just think if they get a card, it's just so much nicer. Something they can hold, something that tells them that somebody thought about it. All right, so let's see how that just opens like that. And then on the inside here, I'm just going to put this down here at the bottom. Okay, And then I can slip my gift, I didn't even get a gift card, but I can slip my gift card in right there. I'll just pretend like my little Post-it notes are a gift card. So you'll slip your gift card in here because you just put tape around the edge. Okay, and then up here you can either stamp happy birthday, happy anniversary, congratulations, whatever you want. You could write on either side and then see when they get it. See how that opens. I thought that was a cool idea. So doing a gatefold with this fun closure might be something. Now you can do, I did ovals. You could do a circle. You could do a square. If you don't have dies like this, I would suggest a square because you can just use your cutter for that. And that would be a nice thing. And then using these little, either using a punch or a die to cut out some of the pieces on the designer series paper and flip them around. So I hope that maybe you've gotten a good idea here for making the card and that you have a great day. Bye.